Uh, from an entire lockdown scenario where everyone was locked off, I think we are gradually moving from the survival mode to the revival mode. Yes, it's taking some time, cases on the rise, but people are getting better, faster. The mortality rate is well under control, and this is good to happen. I think everyone has to go get affected once so that they don't get it again. What has happened in the real estate industry is that all these times, we were totally dependent on migrant labor, were dependent on imported building material. What is going to happen, what we feel is now we'll have to be more, conscious about technology. We'll have to be more conscious about mechanization. We'll have to take steps to see that there's more safety on working and also safety of the labor to live. So migrant labor may be an issue for times to come. The fear psychosis is still there in the minds of the people, which will remain for quite some time, especially moving to large metros. But we will have to survive, we'll have to move. And what can come out of this is that the Make in India movement may gradually pick up. We will go for more indigenous manufactured material, but our manufacturers have to be more quality and cost conscious and not capitalize on that, because sometime or the other this whole thing is going to open up and then they lose on this opportunity. So it's a huge opportunity which needs to be taken up, but for that they'll have to adapt. Like what I've been listening for some time is, adaptation is going to be the key. So quality and cost arbitrage is going to be something which is important. We'll have to look at local labor. We'll have to train them, because training is going to be very important, not dependent on trained labor migrating in, but train the local people to get adapted to it. It is going to have some issues of their own, but I think it's time we really learn to overcome this entire aspect. Pre-engineering of costs of the product is going to be very important, whether we are talking of residential, commercial, retail, whatever we construct. We cannot now work on fantasies and perceptions. I think it has to be more realistic for what the person wants. There is going to be, so that you deliver what is required, you deliver in time, and you deliver of the quality you have promised. What is going to happen in times to come is that financial closure is going to be extremely important. These 5 months, we had a bad run for the last couple of years. And then this entire full stop which came from 20th of March onwards. So there is going to be a financial crisis with most of the people. They're going to be stressed for money. So financial management is going to be extremely important. We look at the government, the RBI and the finance ministry to be a bit little lenient in this. The developer industry is asking for one-time restructuring of their loans. We are not asking for waivers. We are not asking, to waive off the interest and waive off the principal amounts, but give time, because it is going to be required. Otherwise, everything will get into a black hole and the whole operations will start. So financial closes and financial management is going to be extremely important. And the banks who have stacked up money in RBI at a lower repo rate, I think needs to bring out this money and make it roll. Because if the economy has to move, I think everyone has to hold hands. We have to all fight from the streets and not, just be in the safe havens. So that is going to be a challenge which we need to face in the near future. Uh, See what everyone is talking about: working from home. Everyone talks about studying from home, and that's going to be the new era. I don't think it's possible. It is just impossible. If you look at the Indian middle class family, I'm not looking at the rich and I'm not going to the lower classes. What does it consist of? It consists of three generations. You have the elderly parents, you have the working parents, and you have the children. If all these people are going to be in this two-bedroom, three-bedroom apartment, where would they find space to study from? Where would they find space to work from? So efficiency on work gradually, because now it is compulsion. But once compulsion starts residing down, once we have, the curve of the virus flattening off, then it is going to be difficult for people to work from home. We are a human race. We have matured over a period of time. We have evolved through interaction. So people are going to long to go to schools. People are going to long to go to working space, and they would want the experience of shopping, and not every time to just get what you want, through the online market. But probably this will take some time for the normalcy to come in, because the fear psychosis is still there in the minds of the people. Uh, but it is moving out. It is gradually started limping back. Though we have a lot of cases being reported in most of the major cities, I think it's become part of life. People have started accepting it and moving forward. The residential requirements may change, but the cost factor is going to be difficult to sustain because if there's going to be wage cuts, if there's going to be loss of jobs in the near future, then probably people would want to stay in their own or move towards a more structured construction developments. So people who are in, scattered developments would probably want to move towards self-contained societies, self-contained neighborhoods would want to move into integrated townships where there's convenience of living, because what this pandemic has taught that when you are trapped indoors, you need certain things to live, you need your daily needs to be supplied to, and this can be done in structured environments, and people would want to get into this situation. Probably this situation should may never arise again, but at the back of the mind, people would want to stay in integrated developments where everything is at walking vicinity, close vicinity, so that they may not have to travel long distances to work or to school or even for their daily conveniences. So this is a trend which may come in days to come. Office space will continue. You cannot stay at home and work. You need to have this working environment. It is very difficult. I keep on speaking to a lot of people who live in our various townships we have made. And the problem they have is that the wife starts working at 6 o'clock and keeps on working till 12 o'clock. That is not because she's working from home and nothing else to do, she's just working, or the husband is again doing the same thing. So there is absolutely no social integration in the family, which is remaining now, and that cannot go on for long because, as I said earlier, the human mind is not meant for that, and this is going to change. People are longing to go back, but yes, they want secure environment, they want safer environment, they don't want offices which were made, which gradually, we started with say 100 square feet per person, gradually on the guise of economization of the costs and probably impressing your seniors, the spaces started shrinking to pigeonholes. I don't think that is going to last any longer. People would want a more safer places to be in. The classrooms in schools will also not be as populated as they are because every child, whether it's from the middle class or the lower middle class or the higher class, every parent will want the child to be safe. The shopping experience needs to come in, but the retail space, people will have to make it as a shopping area and not the entertainment area where they draw large crowds by for attractions, but they should, I think they will gradually draw crowds more for the shopping experience. The tourist industry, the hospitality, well, it's going to take some time because unless and until the travel restrictions are uh, removed, it's going to be difficult for people to actually move around. But yes, how long can you keep people just put in, in confinement? It has to come out, and it is gradually moving out, and I think it will start coming back to normalcy. The biggest sector which will benefit in this is the housing sector. All what people have realized in this entire 3-4 months of lockdown is the safest place for you to be in is your home. And this is the right time. You have incentives given by various governments, like for instance, the Maharashtra government came out with incentives on stamp duty. The interest rates are the lowest. The deals are there in the offing, though we have certain restrictions which are still there about the ready reckoner rates. But once these are rationalized, I think probably people will move back towards owning a house and not renting a house, because that whole concept of that millennial children not wanting to own houses but to rent places so they can have change of home, I think is not going to be there. That's going to change. People will want to own a house. They want to be in their own secured environment because that has proved to be the most safest place to be in the times of pandemic. So the residential sector we see moving up faster, though the requirements may change, the costing has to be more effective. I think probably the whole concept of real estate will not be an appreciating business aspect, but it will be more industrialized, where the cost plus basis will come in, where higher turnover and lower profits may be the norm, at least for some time to come. And that is good for the industry because it will not be speculative, but it will be more, realistic in nature. So this is what we expect to happen. So the housing industry will do very good. The office space, like what Ramesh and my other speakers spoke, may come back to normalcy gradually with more safer environment. The retail space experience people do want. You just cannot call for anything and take what you just thought you should take without a choice to buy. But I think it will take some time. We'll by the end of this year we should normalize, and 2021 looks as a good year back because all the other investments will go up. Investment in real estate, housing, and good office space will be there to come. So, on this optimistic note, I think we are in for not very good times, but in for good times in days to come.